Hey all, Eli here. Doing my first stream in a while, primarily because I had a big event happen, which is my very first PSA return actually came back. I sent this out back in July with the $30 submissions. Funny enough, it literally went out literally the day before the submission cost dropped to $18, which is rough. But on the bright side, the cards came back before Collectathon is going to start. Who knows when I'm going to get my $18 submission back. So yeah, I had to pay extra for these. Although to be fair, a lot of these are worth more than $200, and they would have not qualified in the $18 tier anyway. So I do want to go through some of these, show off what grades I got, and then also compare it to my predictions, because I predicted the grades on all these cards before I sent them away. And I think that I was pretty good overall. For some of them, I was less good. There were some grades that really surprised me, but on the whole, I think I did pretty well in terms of my predictions. So let's start with this first box. Here we go. So, is this the front or the back? Oh, that's the back. So let's flip this over. So the first card we got is this Rocket Small Trace EX, which is an old card. It's from, as you'll see, like a decent number of these cards I got when I was a kid, and a decent number are newer. So this one actually was from when I was a kid. I predicted that it would get a 7, and it got a 7. So I hit that. I think 7s are worth about 170 bucks. And the other thing I measured is the amount I would have I spent to grade plus the value of the card, which is pretty much like overall profit versus had I just sold it. So I think in total this one made about 60 bucks with the grade A, despite it getting a 7. I was surprised by this one in a good way. This Mega Gyarados from Breakpoint got a 10. I predicted it would get a 9. So it's worth about 150 bucks in total. It's about 53 bucks for the card plus grading. So it's pretty good on this one. About 100 bucks in profit. Either this or the Mew I was surprised about, because one of these has a bed now that didn't have it before. And so, was it this one? No. So I predicted this would get a 4. It actually got a 3. You'll see on the Mew, I think, that I predicted higher. So not surprising, this is another card from when I was a kid, but it's a Gold Star card. You can't really see it at this angle, but there is kind of a bend in the corner, which is why I got a 3. Another card, probably the rarest card I pulled as a kid, got a 2, but still it's from when I was a kid. Believe it or not, we played with these cards, and that's why it's bent. Charizard EX. So yeah, there's just like a big ass bend through the middle of this card, and that's why I got a 2. But you know, another sort of sentimental card I pulled when I was a kid. I'm curious, actually. I think it's worth about 300 bucks in this grade, as is the Mewtwo Gold Star. But I mean, I think actually just raw, it's worth about that much anyway. But for me, it was more about the being a kid. So this next one surprised me. It's this Latios GX. I thought it would get a 10. Honestly, to me, and I don't know if you can tell, but this card looked flawless to me on all sides. I thought it was pretty perfectly centered. The only thing is on the back, even here, I guess the top and the bottom is a little off center. But on the whole, I thought this card looked really good, and I was surprised overall that it ended up getting a 9 instead of a 10. But you know, it is what it is. We can't win them all. I actually made did well on a few of these other grades, which made me feel better, and I'll show you those, of course, in a second. So yeah, next one, I got this Ditto from Delta Species Reverse Hollow. I think it's worth about 60 bucks like this. The card itself is worth 10 plus grading fees 30, so still there was about a 20 buck profit overall on this card, but it's also one from when I was a kid, and I love these little Dittos. I think they're pretty cool. Next one is one that surprised me. This Charizard Delta Species. I predicted, I mean, whenever these old cards get a good grade, I get surprised because I don't ever think it'll do that well. And then it's worth more, obviously. So in this case, this Reverse Hollow Crystal Guardians Charizard is worth about $400. And at the time I sent it off, this is about a $70 card, I think, plus 30 for the grading. So I went from about $100 in total to to about $400 in value. So I was very surprised about this one. It looks pretty good, but I thought I would get a 7 because I think I have not great expectations for old cards. This EV on the ball I predicted would get a. Let's see. I just have a spreadsheet, which is what I'm looking at right now. So the EV on the ball. I predicted we'd get a 9. It actually got a 10. I think it's worth about 110 bucks like this. Pretty good. Then the special delivery Pikachu is actually a gift Mesa got for me. So I'm never going to sell that one, but I wanted to get it in case because it was a really nice gift she got me. Yeah, I got an 8. She didn't know anything about Pokemon when she bought this, so she just grabbed one she saw, and I think it looks pretty good. And I love this card. I think he's absolutely adorable. And it's going to be nice to have up just next to my desk area from here on out. Next we got this Pop Series Celebi EX. Got a 7. I thought it would get an 8, but no biggie. I think that it's also from when I was a kid. So there were like a certain number of cards I just sent out because that I had from 20 years ago or whatever. Then we have these 2 stamp promos. They both got a 10, which is really nice. Spent about 200 bucks on them. I think they're now worth about 400 or 500 bucks altogether, if not more. And so yeah, this one was really good. I predicted that they would both get 10s, but I thought I was being maybe just optimistic. But no, they look great. I'll probably have these out at Collectathon. I think they both look terrific. Next was, I think this is the one I felt I got cheated on. So this Mew EX, I got a 2 on. And the thing is, I thought I would get an 8 on it. And when it came back, I looked closely, and there was a bend through this card. Not gonna lie, I don't think that bend was there when it went out. Kept it in pretty good condition. It looked like a great card. Well centered. Not any scratches. Felt a little cheated on this one because I definitely don't remember. This is the one I was off most on grading. I was pretty accurate almost across the board on grading, off by just like a point really on almost every card except for this one. So a little suspicious, not gonna lie. Next was the special delivery Bidoof. Thought this would get a 9 and got a 9. I think it has like a little dot in one of the corners. So that's why I got that. And I think the 9 is worth, looks like about 300 bucks, which is not too shabby for a card. I think I bought it at 140 off eBay because I didn't get one of the codes. Galarian Moltres V I thought would get a 10. It looked flawless to me for a PSA grade. I mean, obviously, it's just maybe a little off center there, but thought it would get a 10, and it came back a 9, which is fine. There were some that I was surprised by going higher than I thought, and some the opposite. So, Galarian Aperdash V also thought would get a 10. Came back a 9. Once again, there were just several of these cards where I looked and they looked pretty flawless, other than maybe just a little off centering. So it's just kind of weird, I think. Let's see what else we got. This Calyrex V, I predicted would get a 10, and it got a 10. So this one was spot on. And also the Tyranitar V. This one was actually, Mesa's very lucky. She pulled this card, and it looked perfect. I sent it out, got a 10. I think this card is worth about $300, it looks like, and it's now worth about 70 bucks raw, but when we pulled it, it was about 100. But honestly, it looks terrific. I love this card. I think this might be one of my favorite cards from the last year or two. From Battle Styles, it looks terrific. And then last one from this bunch was this trainer, full art trainer, Gardenia. There are a few I just, you know, I didn't expect to get so many 10s. I was overall actually happy, minus like the 2 I felt cheated on. But I predicted a 10, but I just thought maybe I was being way too, like I had way too much wishful thinking, because a lot of the ones I thought would be 10s came back as 10s, and I just thought maybe I was crazy. But no, this one also came back pretty well. The Gardenia looks like it's worth about 130, and raw it's about 30, so that one looked pretty good. The next box here is a, let's pull that out. I had about a little more than 2 boxes of graded cards here, about halfway through. Yes, Mesa's checking in to see if I told you all that she got me the special delivery, and you guys can attest, the one person that's watching, that I have in fact told you all about where I got it from.
Cool.
So then I got this Cynthia, which was also gifted to me by Mesa. I might actually sell this one though, I think this was maybe $60 when we bought it. And it's one of the ones that had a pretty good return, because I think this is worth about $300 to $400 now as a PSA 10. So this was just like a phenomenal return in terms of when I bought the card and what it's worth now. The other one, I mean, the Latios and Latias actually that I bought earlier, and I was kind of thought would get a 10 but got a 9. That one also I bought for 170. Gosh, maybe when was that? 6 months ago, maybe a little longer ago. I got for 170, and even as a PSA 9, I think it's worth about 450. So several of these are having pretty great returns. Although I was surprised that they've done so well overall. Another one, this Espion, which is worth about 250, I think. It's pretty good. It's just some of these, I thought they were modern cars, and maybe I just thought they were too good, but it seems like maybe I've just gotten these 10s soon enough back to where other people's haven't gotten back yet, and they're still retaining a lot of value. Who knows if there's still a lot coming back from PSA, I don't know. This Galarian Moltres V got a 10. I wish the other one had, but you know, this is fine, I'll take it. This one's worth about $80, I think, although the raw it's like 20. This is another one Mesa pulled out, or better yet, she actually gifted this to me, and I got very lucky. She gifted me the pack. She just has.
Pulled it out and gifted it.
Oh, there you go. But she gifted me for graduation 10 with like 5 packs, and this is one of the ones we pulled out. So we got very lucky. She's just a lucky person when it comes to pulling packs. And the Gengar's actually seen some pretty stratospheric growth recently. So while it's got a 9, I think it's worth a decent amount more now than it did even 2 or 3 months ago, because I think raw, they've gone up from 100 to 140 recently. So yeah, it's a little off center, but it's a great looking card. The next card is surprisingly expensive, this Score Bunny on the Ball, which got a 10. As of right now, I think the pop on this card is like 10 or 12. It's something very low, and that's why the value is inflated. Probably would be best to sell this as soon as possible, because that's probably going to lose its value as more people grade it. I don't know how many people actually sent it out for $30, but did pretty well on that one. The next card is kind of funny story about it, because this got an 8, this Vaporeon. I thought I would get a 7 when it went out, so I didn't think it would get a 10. But I checked my grades early, because I guess there's this way to go through the back end of PSA and see what you got. And out of all the cards that I like kind of checked earlier, oh hey, HTH, yeah, I'm from Denver too. That's why we're called Mile High Pokemon. Thanks for watching. But yeah, anyway, I just saw your message. Sorry about the delay. But this Vaporeon, when I checked it ahead of time at PSA, it was marked down as a PSA 10, and I freaked out, because as a PSA 10, this would be worth like $3,000, which is kind of crazy. And I didn't expect it to get a 10. And when it went through QA, this was the only card out of the bunch, out of all of them I checked, that got marked down, because I guess they probably looked at it QA. It's like, wow, are we about to, give someone a $3,000 card, mark it down to PSA 10, and then they looked at it again and saw that maybe it's not so deserving, because there is some whitening. I don't know if you can see it at this angle, but there's a little whitening on the 2 corners. So this is not a PSA 10 card, and I didn't think it would get a 10, but it ended up coming back an 8, despite some optimism. Got this old Jolteon, got a 9. I think this Jolteon is worth, let's see, I've got it written down here, about $100, not too bad. Some of these raw are worth just like $20, so even, $20 plus a $30 grading fee, you're still getting about a $50 profit on those. And then several of these were just like kind of Hail Marys. I don't think they actually lost value, except for a few of them. May have lost some value, but on the whole, these are just like, let's see what they get. These are some old cards. So this Himachan got a 6. This Blastoise got a 5. Oof. This Victory Bell got a 9, which is kind of interesting. I think the The Victory Bell is worth, it's like 45 bucks. Yeah, it's not a ton, but, you know, whatever, I'll take it. Ninetales, got an 8. This Raichu, I think, was the only other one that I was, like, really off on, other than that one Mew. Because I thought this Raichu would get, like, a 9 or something, and it got a 7. I thought it was good looking. When it came back, I realized there's maybe a dot up on the corner. You never know, like, was it them that did this, or did I just, like, not see this when I sent it out, you know? You never know. This Shadowless Clefairy. And I sent out 3 Charizards, which I felt pretty good about, because even though... So this one was a 7. I paid $200 for this, so $230 altogether with the grading, and I think this is worth about $400 as a 7. And there are 2 cards here that are worth, you know, got 3s and 4s. I actually bought these off someone paying just like a collection. I was paying 60% of TCG player value, so I paid, I think, like $40 for each of these Charizards. And even as a 3 and a 4, as soon as they get graded, they're worth, you know, they're worth almost $200, I think. So there was still a decent amount of profit, even though they're very low grades. You're just kind of surprised always how well the base sets Charizard does, despite the low grades. Alakazam, whoops, Shadowless got a 5. Here it is. I lost money on this card. Oh well, it happens. This Zapdos, I think I also lost money on. Got a 6. And then this Hitmonlee got an 8, which I think a lot of these just broke even. It's just I was surprised that some of them did better. Most of these did about where I thought. Some of these were just a gamble, and it was an old card I wanted to send into grading. So not too shabby. We have one more box here, and then, but it only has like 4 cards, and then I'm going to be done looking at the grades. Overall, I'm happy with it, primarily because this is the first time I sent them out, and I try to predict them all ahead of time, and I got them pretty much spot on across the board. There were only like 2 I was really surprised by, and overall I felt pretty good about it. So let's see, we got this Gengar, which got an 8, worth about $80. The Mewtwo is worth about $90, it looks like. Got a 9 in the Machamp, which apparently is worth about $170. I didn't spend very much money on it in the first place. I'm kind of surprised about that. I presume there just aren't very many in good condition because they were in the theme decks. That's my guess. Who knows? And then this Tyranitar, which is also from when I was a kid. Came back as a 9. I think it's worth about $100 or so. So not too shabby. Overall, I think I did great. Number one good thing is that I predicted them correctly, so I feel confident about grading in the future. Got some more 10s than I expected, so I feel great about that. And if you're in Denver, I'll be at Collectathon vending, and I'll be happy to see y'all stop by and see what we've got if you're interested in any of these cards. Otherwise, maybe I'll put them on eBay. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you all have a great evening.